sing along with me. When you know that He's always on your side, yeah? Even when you fail, when we fail, He stands and He puts His hands on His face like this and says, why did he do that? Why did she do that? But I love him still. I love her still. That's who He is. That's who He was. That's who He forever will be. It's 27 minutes on to the off 7 o'clock. Good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, Pity Martinique, the rest of the entire world. Yeah. I don't know about you, but I'm so happy to be alive today. Not 100% well, but I'm alive. And there's every possibility that I will be well.
Well, if I had another chance to start afresh again.
Thank you, Father.
Just wouldn't be the same.
Mary Ebanks, good morning to you. Yulin Alexander. Yulin says, blessings for a thankful Thursday. Yulin, let's do what we do best. Make a joyful noise and a dance.
Merciful Father.
Those of you on the hospital wards, good morning to you.
Merciful Father.
I pray that you get a speedy recovery. Good morning to all the medical practitioners, those aiding in, the wellness of our patients. You're making your rounds on the ward now, giving them medication, just doing the checks. You might just be signing off on your shift. Hope you had a productive and good night. The folks inside of ICU, good morning, Nurse Pierre and your team. Lydia Cameron, good morning. Michelle Cambridge, good morning. How do you do? It's 25 minutes on to 7 o'clock.
Thank you for the breath I breathe.
Sylvina Charles, good morning to you. Mildred Smith and Shem, good morning. Mr. Jeremiah, Miss Jeremiah. Tanti Marcy and the folks at Care Bears, good morning. Tanti in Tempe, good morning. My good friend in Tempe. Not Tempe, but Tantin. How you doing, my dear friend? Let's hit it up with the word of the day today. And like I said, this is revision week, all right? The word of the day, you heard it before. That word is paradigm. Paradigm. P-A-R-A-D-I-G-M. Paradigm. Now, paradigm is a formal word that refers to a pattern or example, and especially to outstandingly clear or typical example or archetype. It can also refer to a theory or group of ideas about how something should be done, made, or thought about. Paradigm. Here's how we can use that word in a sentence. Several speakers at the conference focused their presentations on challenging what has been a dominant educational paradigm. Yeah. Nice. Munich, good morning. Petlin and the family, the Maxwell family. Urban Mason, Branny, Uncle, Adi, Daddy, how we call him, I don't know. He's like a dad. Eric, Galba, Mitchell, and family. How you do, papi? Branny, you fall up. Mama Ken, good morning. Yeah, the entire posse in Mama Ken. Felix Spark also. The Sandersons. Yeah, I pass and collect my stuff yet. Don't worry, I pass and collect it today, alright? Yeah, my victory gift. Thank you. Ryan and Nakita Ballhead. You're getting tall. Ariel and Kitty Cat and Alvin, good morning. Debbie and family, good morning. Let's head on to the motivational tip for the day. Yep. Let's do that. large part of your life. And the only way to truly be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. Yeah, I like this one. Nadisha, what you find? Yeah, Miss Holmes and everybody. Yeah, that's a nice one, yeah? Abigail. Abby. Morning to the folks at Brave Boys.
So let us rejoice and be glad in it.
Brave Boys gas station and supermarket inside of Corinth. Corinth, good morning. Yeah. Miss Murray, good morning to you. How you doing? The folks on the Moai. The Taylors. Good morning, Zelon. And the Macquin family. Inspector Leon Macquin and their family, good morning. Well, Princess is back. Princess. A screamer is next door. These are my children, man. The Taylor family, good morning. Last suggest, Malty and content. As we head on to the nutritional health tip, good morning to Teacher Mary, the critical eye. How are you doing?
Thank you for the sacrifice, oh merciful Father.
These steps and you'll be fine. Drink lots of water.
Magnesium is a micronutrient that is necessary for the action of more than 300 enzymes that are needed for a healthy and fully functional body. This mineral helps in the strengthening of bones and also helps to regulate blood pressure and blood glucose, among other key functions. Magnesium can be found in several foods that are high in fiber. Foods such as whole grains, vegetables, especially broccoli, spinach, squash, and green leafy vegetables. Legumes and other seeds and nuts are great sources of magnesium. The mineral can also be found in coffee, chocolate, dairy products, meats, and even tap water, which is considered to be hard water. Eating foods that contain magnesium daily is recommended for a healthy body, as the mineral is instrumental in proper function of the nerves, muscles, and many other parts of the body. It is also important for digestive health as it assists in neutralizing stomach acid and moves stool through the intestine. You are at risk of developing a magnesium deficiency if you suffer from illnesses such as Crohn's disease or digestive illnesses, kidney disease, if you abuse alcohol, if you are an elderly person, and if you take certain medications for cancer or diabetes. A doctor can prescribe a magnesium supplement if you are deficient. According to WebMD, most people do not need to take magnesium supplements as they get the recommended daily intake from foods they consume, and the excessive use of magnesium supplements can be poisonous to the body. If you do decide to take magnesium supplements, the highest dose you should take are as follows: 65 milligrams a day for children ages 1 to 3, 110 milligrams a day for children ages 4 to 8, 350 milligrams a day for adults and children ages 9 and older. Until next time, the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council reminds you to look, eat, and feel well.
Minerals ring a bell.
Yeah, take your vitamins, take your minerals, man.
So let us rejoice and be glad in it.
And let's rejoice and be glad with our healthy body. Pastor Laurie, Dominic, and the First Family, good morning to you. Sister Nadika, good morning.
Well, if I had another
The children, good morning. The congregation, good morning. Wester Hall, good morning to Marvin and family out there in Stone Road. My good friend in Stone Road, good morning to you also. Joanna.
I want to say thank you, Jesus, for all you've done for me. Yes, Lord.
Manjaloo and Marianne and surrounding areas, good morning. Pastor Happy and your congregation, good morning.
Father, please.
Good morning, good morning. Let's see quickly what's buzzing this morning. Let's see what's making the round this morning. Well, Anderson Peters, our Olympic medalist, he's competing today in the prestigious Diamond League event in Lausanne, Switzerland. All right? Or you and give your body some time to recuperate, or you're beating the iron while it's hot. Is that what you're thinking, man? Give the body a little rest, you know? You know what I'm saying? Nonetheless, bro, do what you gotta do and do it well. You understand? I know you'll give it your best shot.
With so much ups and
Grenada is behind you, okay?
powers.
Latin American effort to mediate Venezuela's standoff loses steam as Maduro consolidates his rule.
And yes, you are my
I'm yet to understand what is this thing about power that you keep fighting for.
Father.
Why?
The breath I breathe. Oh,
Shouldn't be forcing yourself on people, man.
provide my need.
It's tantamount to rape, yeah.
Thank you for my
Forcing yourself on people. If the people vote you out, go out, you know what I'm saying?
dress, my soul is fed.
Nonetheless, I do wish the best for the people in Venezuela.
Oh, my
Internationally, looming Canada rail shutdown threatens U.S. supply chains. Yeah, the train stations, the employees and the owners of the rail stations, they're having some problems.
I will lift up my eyes.
Please, all you remedy this thing, you understand? We have enough problem as it is already.
The Lord which made heaven.
In sports, West Indies cricketers Jaden Sales and Jason Holder, they climb the ICC Men's Test Player Rankings. Those are the buzzing stories at the moment. We'll have more of it during a morning edition of News Sports and the Weather, which comes up next.
Service, you'll take care of the rest. Yes, Lord. Oh.
Show me your ID. You walk with your man, you walk with your woman. Party love. I come to party, we no shooting up nobody. Come to party, no violence in this country. You come to party, I want a peaceful party. We come to party, my body feeling hot.
Hi, hello. I'm Super Flying Flint, and I got a message for everybody. The message is, let's create a safer community for all of us. Put down the guns and let us party.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Where are you come out? Where are you from? How was leave free promotion? It is all budget. Somebody send out the warning.
Spend $50 or more at any Hubbard's department or participating outlets for a chance to win free fuel, free drinks, free prizes, free property and vehicular insurance, free Hub TV and internet, free electricity, free coke, free water, free cooking gas, free paint supplies, free Dutch Lady milk, free passes to Sunshine promotion events for 2024, free groceries, all for one whole year, and every winner receives a free lunch package. But that's not all. Drive away in style in a brand new Isuzu D-Max. It sips, it doesn't guzzle. So fill out your entries and place them into the marked entry boxes. This promotion is brought to you in part by Dutch Lady, Danny, Promo, Supreme Bleach, Creative Chef, Grenlag, Floor, Salt Petroleum, Grenadian General Insurance Company Limited, Coca-Cola, Sunshine Promotion, Caribberies, Guap Bag, Sesame Spain, and Food Fear. Promotion runs from April 2nd to December 24. Terms and conditions apply.
This is the GBN Morning News for today, Thursday, August 22nd, 2024. Coming up in the news, Anderson Peters competes in the prestigious Diamond League event in Lausanne, Switzerland today. A Latin American efforts to mediate Venezuela's standoff loses steam as Maduro consolidates his rule. Internationally, looming Canada rail shutdown threatens U.S. supply chains. And in sports, West Indies cricketers Jaden Sales and Jason Holder climb the ICC Men's Test Player Rankings. We've got the details to this and more after these messages.
Are you looking for a reliable, affordable, and customer-friendly pharmacy? Look no further than Hills and Valley Pharmacy, the nation's leading healthcare products and services provider. We are committed to serving you at convenient locations. Find an extensive and affordable selection of prescription and over-the-counter drugs and medical supplies at Church Street, Hillsborough, Carriacou, Jubilee Street, Grenville, St. Andrew, near the bus terminal, and Halifax and Grenville Street, St. George. Our committed team is always available to offer valuable assistance for managing your health and wellness. Discover the additional benefits of our wholesale distribution on Halifax Street and our Medcare Center on Grenville Street, where we provide in-house physiotherapy, massage therapy, doctor consultations, and eye care services. Our commitment is to satisfy all your healthcare needs, including competitive prices, loyalty rewards, and special discounts for seniors. Contact us at 435-6904 and WhatsApp 535-4734. Choose Hills and Valley Pharmacy. Remember, your health is our business.
Pleasant good morning with the news in detail. I am Gordon Joseph. Grenada's bronze Olympic medalist Anderson Peters Oli competes in the prestigious Diamond League event in Lausanne, Switzerland today. Anderson's return to competition marks his first major appearance since his remarkable achievement at the Paris Olympics, where he secured a bronze medal in the javelin throw. Acting Minister of Youth and Sports Delma Thomas said, Anderson has consistently made our nation proud, and we have no doubt that he will once again demonstrate his extraordinary talent and resilience on the global stage. This event in Lausanne will see Anderson competing against some of the world's best, including India's Neeraj Chopra, who claimed the silver medal in Paris, and Trinidad and Tobago's Kishon Walcott, a fellow Caribbean athlete and seasoned competitor. Minister Thomas said she knows Anderson will rise to the occasion and continue to make Grenada proud. I endorse that statement. Alana Twom Barima has been appointed president of Ariza Credit Union's board of directors. Ms. Twom Barima, who was elected as a board member at the credit union's annual general meeting on June 29th, assumed the role of president on July 29th, 2024. She assumed being elected to the board of directors on June 29th, 2023. Now, Ms. Twom Barima brings extensive expertise to her new role with a background in commercial and banking law, anti-money laundering, counter-financing of terrorism, succession and family law, corporate governance, employment, and contract law. She is a highly accomplished attorney at law and governance and compliance specialist with over 12 years of executive management experience. Ms. Twom Barima expressed confidence in Ariza's continued growth and success, given her positive experiences working with the board and management. The Lions Club of St. Andrews is celebrating its 53rd anniversary with a week of community empowerment activities under the theme Empowering Communities Through Change. To mark this significant milestone, the club has organized a week of diverse and impactful activities aimed at uplifting and empowering the communities in St. Andrews. The week-long celebration commenced with a church service at the Grenville Pentecostal Lighthouse, symbolizing the club's gratitude and commitment to service. A collaboration with the St. Andrews Health District resulted in diabetes and pressure checks being done after the church service. The club also distributed fresh fruits and water in support of healthy eating choices. This was followed by a series of events designed to engage, educate, and support the local community. A comprehensive seminar focusing on physical and mental well-being took place on Wednesday at the Birch Grove Community Center. Transitional session for students entering secondary school for the first time takes place this morning at the St. Mary's Catholic School from 9:30 a.m. Activities conclude on Saturday after members engage in feeding the less fortunate in Grenville. Digicel Grenada makes a $3 million investment in Carriacou and Petite Martinique in the aftermath of the devastating Hurricane Beryl, which severely impacted the islands of Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Digicel is proud to announce its commitment to restoring and enhancing internet connectivity across the region. The company said it is the first network provider to reconnect mobile services on the islands. Digicel has been working tirelessly to ensure that both businesses and individuals can access the internet through its mobile network. And finally, police say significant complaints regarding motor scooters stolen in Grenada led to the recovery of 4 SYM scooters, 3 black helmets, 4 rearview mirrors, and 2 muffler covers during an operation in St. David on Sunday. Police say all scooters and items found were taken for investigation purposes. One individual was taken into police custody to assist with the investigations. The RGPF appeals to owners who had their motor scooters stolen to visit the South St. George Police Station with proof of ownership for possible identification. The Royal Grenada Police Force advises owners and riders of motor scooters to take the necessary precaution to protect their scooters from potential thieves. Experts have identified that several of the scooters stolen were by means of vulnerability in the ignition switch system. Persons in charge of motor scooters are therefore advised to install a kill switch or use a chain lock on the scooters when not in use. That concludes the local segment of news, the regional roundup and international developments, along with the sporting highlights and the weather. They are straight ahead. It's 6 minutes on to 7 o'clock. We now join the Caribbean News Desk for this morning's edition of the Regional News Roundup.
From the Caribbean News Desk, the morning edition. Good morning. I'm Kendall Morgan.
And I'm Dennis Chabot with the latest from across the Caribbean.
Teachers in Guyana are to get a 10% salary increase for this year, 8% next year, and 9% in 2026. The agreement between the Guyana Teachers Union and the Ministry of Education also provides for several non-taxable allowances and duty-free concessions. However, Union General Secretary Coretta MacDonald has accused President Dr. Mark Light of deceiving a number of negotiators and members of the Teachers Union's General Council. She says he acted in consult with the government and signed an agreement that contains meager benefits. But the Teachers Union president dismisses his General Secretary's accusation and says under the rules of the union, he is compelled to sign the agreement.
The real issue was the percentage that was offered, and the fact that the majority of General Council said, let's take it. That is what propelled me to say, let's go ahead and have it signed. If the members felt that the decision should have been overturned, they would have written in those 12 days, that they had 21 days to write, they would have written in those 12 days to indicate that they needed, as far as I know, nobody has written. So the decision stood.
Vincentian Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves is dismissing claims that Jamaican dancehall star Vibes Cartel's ongoing visitors in Vincent and the Grenadines may be partly to support his re-election bid among youth voters. Cartel, whose birth name is Aditya Palmer, has been in St. Vincent and the Grenadines since last Friday on a visit welcomed by the Vincentian leader.
As I have won 5 elections on the run, on the trot, without any involvement from Mr. Palmer, and I shall win the 6th time I can without Mr. Palmer's assistance.
Vibes Cartel's visit to SVG began 2 weeks after Jamaica's Court of Appeal ruled against a retrial for murder for which he had already spent 13 years in prison. He has reportedly seen a Vincentian-based Cuban-born endocrinologist at a local medical support team in relation to his diagnosis with Graves' disease. Dr. Gonzalez says the dancehall artist will also use some of his time in St. Vincent and Grenadines to talk to young people.
And I understand that he's interested in meeting some young cultural artists and to talk to them, and also to talk to persons to be disciplined and stay away from criminal activities. That's what I've been advised. I didn't ask him to do any of that. That is being done independently.
The United States is disappointed that only 2 Caribbean Community CARICOM member states endorsed a joint statement calling for democracy in Venezuela. That statement calls for the immediate publication of all original records and the impartial and independent verification of Venezuela's July 28 election results, preferably by an international entity, to ensure respect for the will of Venezuelans as expressed at the polls. U.S. Ambassador to CARICOM Nicole Theriot welcomed Guyana and Suriname's support of the statement, which condemned repression of protesters and the violence that has claimed the lives of many Venezuelans in the post-election period.
We were extremely pleased that the governments of Guyana and Suriname signed on to that statement. It's incredibly important to us that we are all together in defending democracy in this region and globally. And it meant a lot to us to have those partners in the region, global, well, especially Guyana, becoming a global leader. It meant so much to have Guyana on that statement. We're very, very grateful, and we hope that it will have an impact on President Maduro and his administration moving forward.
Guyana's Foreign Secretary Robert Passard, in reposting the statement on his Facebook page, remarked that democracy will triumph, and those states, including Caribbean leftists which seek to justify rigging, must decide which side of history they want to be on. The American ambassador says the U.S. is disappointed that the other CARICOM member states did not support the statement.
That's quite disappointing, actually. For us, it seems very clear that to support democracy, certain things need to be done with regard to the elections. And if those other countries chose not to sign on, that's their right. But we are quite disappointed.
Cricket West Indies President Dr. Kishore Shallow remains non-committal about getting into elective politics in his native St. Vincent and the Grenadines, despite a recent poll showing he is highly favored among the Vincentian electorate. The poll, commissioned by the Caribbean Institute for Governance and Policy Research and led by University of the West Indies political science lecturer Deborah Bruce, puts Dr. Shallow just behind the opposition leader Dr. Godwin Friday as an alternative leader to Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, despite not publicly declaring himself a candidate. He also polled ahead of the 2 front-runners for leadership succession in the ruling party, Agriculture Minister Suboto Caesar and Finance Minister Camilo Gonsalves, the son of the Prime Minister. Dr. Shallow addressed his political future on local radio yesterday.
It is something certainly I will consider at the right time. And the very truth is, if there is a compelling enough call, and my family is in agreement that this is the time, then who knows, right? So that is it. But it's a discussion I would certainly have to have with my family, which I haven't had at this point.
This has been the morning edition from the Caribbean News Desk. You may contact us by phone or WhatsApp at +592 700 9293. Thanks for listening.
Looking further afield, I need to apologize for that break in the execution of the Caribbean News Roundup. We seem to be having some technical glitches with our playing system. Looking further afield, the labor dispute between Canada's 2 main national rail carriers and workers could lead to a possible lockout as soon as this morning, that's Thursday, threatening crucial supply chains across North America. Canadian National Railway and Canadian Pacific Kansas City plan to lock out nearly 9,300 workers, failing an 11th hour deal. Canada sends around 75% of all the goods it exports to the U.S., mostly over rail, and a prolonged dispute could disrupt shipments of a wide range of goods, from grains and beans to potash, coal, and timber. Negotiations have stalled over shift scheduling, fatigue provisions, and wages. And finally, as deafening cheers greeted Barack and Michelle Obama, Democrats could have been forgiven for thinking they had been transported 16 years back in time. But in 2024, the former United States President and First Lady were devoting their crowd-pleasing abilities towards putting another trailblazer. While outgoing President Joe Biden got a long and emotional ovation from the crowd in his farewell speech on Monday, the reaction to the Obamas was closer to a frenzy. The pair, who still wield enormous influence in the Democratic Party, were treated as returning heroes and had the partisan crowd eating off their hands. Who says Kamala? That's it for the regional roundup and international news at this time. Stay with us. The sporting highlights are straight ahead. Good morning, sporting fans. The West Indies pair of Jaden Sills and Jason Holder climbed up the ICC men's test player rankings, emerging as the big winners in the updated list released on Wednesday. Sills and Holder both performed well during the West Indies' recent test series against South Africa, despite the fact the Caribbean side fell to a 1-0 series defeat. Sills collected 9 wickets in the second test in Guyana, with his 6-wicket haul in the second innings of the contest, seeing the 22-year-old claim his best test figures of 6 for 61. His superb performance in Guyana helped him gain 13 places on the test rankings for bowlers and a new career high rating in 13th place. Holder also made good ground in all 3 categories, with the 32-year-old gaining 2 spots to move up to 5th behind Indian duo Ravindra Jadeja and Ravichandran Ashwin. The veteran star made an unbeaten half-century in the first innings of the second test, pushing him up to 5th in the rankings for all-rounders and ensuring a 7-spot jump to equal 60th on the test batters list. Sills and Holder's West Indies teammates Jomel Warrican up 2 spots to 52nd and Shamar Joseph up 11 rungs to 54th also gained some ground on the list for test bowlers. 65th following his 6-wicket and player of the match performance. That's the sports. Stay with us. We'll have more sports for you during our luncheon edition. Up next, the weather. And folks, for the latest weather forecast, we join forecaster at the Met Office of the MBIA, Andre Dre Charles. Good morning, Dre.
Good morning to you and to listeners of GBN. And here's weather for today, Thursday, the 22nd August, 2024. Currently, it's PM. Winds are variable. Barometric pressure, 11.8 millibars. That's below normal and rising. Present temperature 28.1 degrees Celsius, relative humidity 85%. Yesterday's maximum temperature 31.9 degrees Celsius. Last night's minimum 26.8 degrees Celsius. Over the past 24 hours, 2.7 millimeter of rainfall was recorded, which brings the total for the month to 117.5 millimeters. Now to have a look at the forecast, well, for today and tonight. Today we expect some fair conditions with slightly hazy, becoming slightly hazy and partly cloudy at times with brief isolated showers. Maximum temperature 32 degrees Celsius. Winds east-northeasterly to east-southeasterly at 8 to 18 miles per hour. Sea slight to moderate, waves 3 to 5 feet in open waters. Tides below at 11:45 a.m., high at 5:45 p.m. Sunset today at 6:23, rises tomorrow at 5:56. Just a repeat of the forecast, well, for today and tonight. Fair and slightly hazy, becoming partly cloudy at times with brief isolated showers. Maximum temperature 32 degrees Celsius. I'm Andre Charles, reporting from Met Office. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andre. Have yourself a wonderful day now. Folks, the weather forecast came to you with the kind compliments of Rennick & Thompson Company Limited.
It's the Quartz Appliance Event. Cook it, fry it, bake it on a new Mabe stove for only $1,799. Stack it, pack it, and chill it with a Frigidaire 4-mount fridge for $2,749. Laundry piling up? Wash it, spin it, dry it in a Frigidaire 17-kilogram washing machine top, only $2,399. Get it now and pay later. It's the Quartz Appliance Event, only at Quartz, bringing value home. Offers end July 24th, 2024. Conditions apply.
8 minutes after 7 o'clock to end the news, a recap of the headlines. Anderson Peters competes in the prestigious Diamond League event in Lausanne, Switzerland today. In the region, Latin American effort to mediate Venezuela's standoff loses steam as Maduro consolidates his rule. Internationally, looming Canada rail shutdown threatens U.S. supply chains. And in sports, West Indies cricketers Jaden Seals and Jason Holder climb the ICC Men's Test Player Rankings. And that's the morning edition of news for today, Thursday, August 22nd, 2024. On behalf of the entire news department, I am Gordon Joseph, thanking you for listening, wishing you a productive day, and extending the invitation to you to stick and stay with the network, because we are with you anywhere and everywhere.
22nd Creative Center presents the final staging of I Do at the Duluth Cinema Grenville, Sunday, August 25th at 6 p.m. Tickets available at Labucan Creative Center, Waterfed, and St. Andrew's Pharmacy at $75. It's the most hilarious comedy ever staged in Grenada. It's I Do by Uriah Speakers, Sunday, August 25th, Duluth Cinema Grenville at 6 p.m. Don't you miss it.
Served Grenada for decades, we are the #1 and largest electrical supplier.
Hi, welcome to Sunny Electrical. How may I help?
We offer electrical wire and accessories, tools, and appliances for all residential, commercial, and industrial applications, which is what we are known for. And we expanded our products with new innovative ways to modernize your home. New homeowners will be captivated in our lighting showrooms.
Some more pendant lights here. These are very multifunctional because they can work for kitchens, living rooms, bedrooms.
We have a wide selection of lighting, ranging from indoor to outdoor and solar. We are also available for site visit services to assist you with selecting the perfect light for your forever home. We are located at Dusty Highway in Grand Anne, St. George. Sudden Electrical. Best value, expert advice, quality products. We hope to see you soon.
I want you to control your anger. There's a way to feel better. a star. Stop and take a deep breath and relax yourself. Take another deep breath and relax it, and relax it. Eliminate violence. Whoa, whoa. Rock the box, we say, yeah. GBN, we say, arts and culture living, yeah. Rock the box, we say. I'm telling you, rock the box, rock the box, rock the box, we say. I'm telling you, rock the box, rock the box, rock the box, we say. We'll be jamming here on a Thursday. It's a
filter, ha? Kami tali filter. Ozzy!
Who are you sharing your secondhand smoke with?
That's not how you cross the pedestrian crossing.
Really? One day I just woke up and I saw pedestrian crosswalks on the road. No one really showed me how to use them properly.
Well, this is how it's done. You never cross before doing these things. They might save your life. First, when you get to the crosswalk, you stop. You look left, you look right. If there's a vehicle coming, you put your hand out, making eye contact with the driver, indicating that you want to cross. And only when the vehicle comes to a complete stop, you quickly cross to the other side.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact. Wait for pedestrian to cross to the other side, then you happily continue on your journey. This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
Records at the Traffic Department shows that a total of 1,447 accidents were reported for the year 2012, which includes 3 road fatalities. 2,946 accidents were reported for the year 2022, which includes 8 road fatalities. This is a significant increase of 104%. This is alarming. When a family tragically loses a loved one, does it matter whether by means of a gun or a motor vehicle? To avoid accidents, drivers and pedestrians alike must exercise extreme caution when using the road.
Welcome, viewers and listeners. It's 19 minutes after 7 o'clock, and we've got a conversation this morning. I've got with me via our Zoom platform 3 distinguished individuals. I've got with me Dr. Karen Moore. She is representing from Trinidad and Tobago. I've got Sister Julie Peters. She is in Italy at the moment. And of course, our own local, I usually refer to him as Pastor Josh Hector, but he's a great guy as well. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Wow, that sound is so harmonious. All right. Okay, welcome to the program this morning. How are we doing this morning? Okay. Are you hearing me clearly?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
And are you hearing us?
Yes, I am hearing you very clearly. All right. So I'm going to initiate the conversation by letting my audience know that, Mr. Hector is in his capacity as the Director of Mental Health here in Grenada. And from that angle, what has happened from the passage of Hurricane Beryl, assistance have been sought to not just physical things, but also mental sustenance. And that's the core of the conversation this morning, relief. And we were looking at it from not just a physical thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again and welcome. I'm going to let Brother Director Josh Hector initiate that conversation as to where we are and what we are about to do.
All right, good morning again. In a sense, it's always a pleasure to join you on the program. We have, of course, thus far been, I'm speaking from my capacity within the Ministry of Mental Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs. A ministry that is still very, very young, still very small, but nonetheless, we have been working towards ensuring that the population as well as the public sector is the public sector receives the requisite care. And from the perspective of mental health and the psychosocial support, simply because we do know that relief to address the structural damage as well as the physical needs has poured in abundance. But not to say that the MHPSS is lacking. It is just a case where the local teams on the ground, based on the fact that they have been going and going and going, burnout is kicking in, right?
Definitely, it will.
And the Ministry of Social Development, the psychosocial units, they have been very instrumental in providing that support as well. But we do recognize, however, that this is the period where the normal stress response is going to subside, or what we call the acute stress. And should stress persist, or should the stress response persist beyond this period, then our concern is that people would begin to develop post-traumatic stress disorder, which is a more difficult issue to tackle. And all the mental health and psychosocial support that we are that we're providing at this time is really geared towards ensuring that we stop a large percentage, a very large percentage of those who have been exposed to Hurricane Beryl. We want to stop them from developing post-traumatic stress disorder, because that is a more profound issue, which requires a lot more support and intervention. And we do know that, well, let me not say we do know, I should inform the public that at the base level, the mental health machine is already overwhelmed.
Okay, so let me just get some input here. From the ministry's assessment in the immediate aftermath of the passage of Beryl to the folks, especially to Carrick and Pitimatnik, from the ministry's assessment, how would you say the people were doing? I mean, I'm talking from a mental health perspective.
Well, what we do know is that essentially the people, when they were receiving a lot of supplies, eventually the cry became, we need people to talk.
Okay.
Right? That's what it became. Because they had supplies abundantly, but they really needed people to have conversations with. And so the idea is really to meet them where they are. So far, I've been to Karakou, and once there is any form of motorcade or anyone, or any group driving around, meeting people at the communities, what I've seen is that from location to location, there are always people waiting by the road.
And that speaks volumes in the sense that people really need someone or some people to vent to.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so Dr. Moore and Sister Julie Peters from the Franciscan Institute are people who are versed in this department. They have a wealth of experience. They've also served a number of countries post-disaster. So I will allow them to introduce themselves, but just so that the public knows, based on our recent engagement with them, representing the Franciscan Institute, they have pledged to partner with us and join in and provide support. And this is something that we always welcome. And so this is the reason why they are here with us this morning. So at this time, I can hand the conversation over to them.
Okay. Right. Okay. Happy am I to speak with, first, again, let me say good morning to you, Dr. Moore and Sister Peters. And I'm going to come to Dr. Moore first. But Sister Peters, you just stay put. And if at any point you feel inclined to chip in, you can. But I'll come to you momentarily. Dr. Moore, welcome to Grenada.
Thank you very much.
Even if it's virtually.
Yes.
So tell us your involvement with that organization that is now partnering with the Ministry of Health, of course, with mental health, wellness, and so forth.
Yeah. He's frozen.
Here we are again. Here we are.
Okay, so tell us your agency's involvement and the level of work you've done post disasters around the region, around the world.
I'm sorry, I missed that because the screen froze for a little bit. Could you just repeat?
Right, certainly. Again, welcome to the program and thank you for coming to Grenada's rescue from your organization's standpoint. But I'd like to have a sort of backdrop as to how much have you been involved, as Mr. Hector said, that you and your organization have always been involved in post-disaster relief efforts and so forth, especially from a mental health perspective. So give us some insight into how and where and how and where you will interject in Grenada's case.
Okay, so thank you, first of all, for the opportunity to be here. I am a clinical child psychologist based in Trinidad and Tobago. I'm the coordinator of the Franciscan Institute Trauma Team. Sister Julie is the director. We are a team of mental health and other professionals with specialized trauma training. In the provision of mental health assistance within the Caribbean region. So we've done quite a lot of work within the Caribbean. We were formed as a team in 2012. Before that, several of our members, including Sister Julie, had done a lot of disaster mental health work in the region. So we worked in Dominica after Tropical Storm Erica and Hurricane Maria. We did training in Antigua after Hurricane Irma. We worked with St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We had to do it online. It was during the pandemic after the volcanic eruption. We did programs in Trinidad and Tobago during COVID, in response to COVID. And recently, we've been doing workshops and trainings in
Okay, to all listeners and viewers, you do have to apologize for that continuous break, right? Go right ahead.
Right. What we want to do in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique is to offer our services wherever they are needed. We don't want to do a particular area, meeting a particular need. We're not going to go in there and work with that area or that need because it's already being addressed.
Okay. All right. We are experiencing connectivity issues.
We also do psychoeducation workshops to help people understand about trauma, what it is, how it affects them. We do a number of different things. Whatever we can find the expertise to do, wherever we can source the expertise and provide it, we do it.
Okay.
So that's a brief on what we would like to do. We've done a needs assessment visit to Carriacou, just a brief one. And we are right now, as a result of that, working with Mr. Hector and other areas of the government to get, official sanction to carry out programs.
Well, that's wonderful. I do not want Sister Peters to feel left out of the loop. So good morning again, Sister Peters. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. I'm very fine.
And what are you doing in Italy? Is that your place of residence?
Well, yes, I'm a displaced Grenadian.
Oh, my goodness. I hope it makes a crack on Mr. Hector's face. But it is often said that wherever in the world you go, even if you open a tin of sardines, you can find a Grenadian there. So, but nonetheless, you're repping Grenada in a big way, as Donald Trump would say, bigly, all the way in Italy. So, welcome home.
Because of technology.
Right, definitely. So, as the director of the organization,
Coordinate things, helping coordinate things for Carriacou and Petit Martinique. I've been in touch with people on the ground. I know a lot of people there because I used to do a lot of work in both Carriacou and Petit Martinique. And I think one of the things we have to offer is a lot of our experience that we gained when we responded to Ivan in Grenada. We worked in Grenada for 1 year after Ivan. And we worked with the government ministers, we worked with all the schools. For one full year, we went there every week. We had psychologists on the ground. So like Dr. Moore, knowing the resources in the Caribbean is scarce, I think one of the things we would like to offer is whatever we can do online is to do it, especially in terms of psychoeducation and helping people understand trauma and helping people understand the signs of trauma, the effects of trauma, giving them the tools, because something about we're not aware, it's something else. But when we are aware, we're more motivated, at least to begin our work. So if we can do that professionally and offer things online, then I think it is also offering Grenada what I would call an archive. You could keep that material because it will be professionally done, and you could always use it when it's appropriate in other traumatic situations.
That is very important. You see, it's just yesterday I was talking with a technology specialist, and I was stressing the importance of we as a people getting into the technological age, because here you are in Italy, there is Dr. Moore in Trinidad and Tobago, but you are communicating and disseminating information even from your locale that can be of direct benefit to our people here, and that is so important. So I say this to say that the powers that be, not just because of this disaster that we've had, but it is so important to revolutionize our education system to embrace the technologies of the day, even for events like this. Let me go back to my good friend, Pastor Hector, Director Hector in this case. You spoke of people in Carriacou and Petit Martinique wanting more than anything else someone to talk and interact with. And I can only imagine, because you and I know there are times when I just need to call, Brother Hector and talk when pressures arrive. In your assessment professionally, how long do you think it will take the folks on the Sister Isles to reach to a point where we would like to refer to as the comfort zone again, from a mental perspective?
You were breaking up a bit, but I believe I got the gist of your question. So here's what we know and understand. As Sister Peters just indicated a while ago, is that based on people's varied responses to traumatic events, it may take a bit longer for some people to fully recover than others. For example, after Hurricane Ivan, and at the time many people couldn't fully understand it, But I know of people personally who 6 years after Hurricane Ivan, they were still traumatized to the extent that every time the wind was a bit high, they would frantically try to find out if another hurricane had surprised us. They were hyper aroused and alert to the extent that that was debilitating in some regards, impacting their functioning.
Okay.
I'm stamped on this, particularly because we have so many different people involved who may have, even though they went through the same experience, their own individual experiences may have varied for a host of different reasons. That coupled with their own resilience that it would take for a person to fully recover from a traumatic episode.
Okay.
I provide the support. We would provide the support for as long as we deem reasonably fit and necessary, because you do not observe miss.
It's so unfortunate with the it's rather unfortunate with the treatment that we're getting from the connection, because this conversation is of such paramount importance. But I'm going to ask you this, and I expect all three of you to chime in at some point in response. Now, given the circumstances here that we are experiencing now, this is not a first timer. Right, we're prone to emergencies and disasters. Do you think that necessitates the need for us as a people, from an administrative standpoint, to put together a cadre of professionals in this sort of capacity that in the future, because we will have more disasters in the future, it's a given. It's just a matter of when. All right. Do you think it necessitates that a cadre of trained professionals be put together so that it will complement, not like it would, eliminate the need for outside assistance, because assistance is always needed, but it will complement the work of those people like you in the future?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we believe that it is necessary to, as you say, the cadre of professionals. We believe that it is necessary to establish a group that, let's call it a safety mechanism. So we press that button whenever a disaster is pending, but it is not just, the reason I'm saying pending is because it should not only be in response to a disaster, but pre-disaster, we have to keep on educating people so that when should they begin to experience certain symptoms, they have an appreciation for what they are going through, and they do not jump to conclusions concerning their mental health to believe that they are quote unquote crazy or anything of that nature. And they will be equipped with the tools to self-soothe so that they can take care of themselves in the first instance to ensure that we do not have the development of by and large, of a host of mental issues and disorders.
I'd like to hear from Dr. Moore on this. What suggestion can you make in connection with this?
I think that it's absolutely a very good idea to have a standing team that is ready to respond. In response to COVID, we developed in Trinidad a technical working group, and that has still continued to meet monthly so that it is there ready to go in response to any disaster. In Dominica, after Tropical Storm Erica, the government convened a technical working group very quickly to deal with mental health and psychosocial needs. And we saw the effectiveness of it. When you've got a team that is already trained, that has experience, and that knows what to do, the action taken can be so much prompter and more effective. And people get the sense that their need has been seen and is being quickly met. And that gives a lot of reassurance to the population.
I wanted to jump in here because I think your question and your insight is very, I would say, prophetic, because you saw me laughing. I was smiling broadly because the trauma team from the Institute was developed out of my own frustration with CARICOM government, because I felt that we have traumatic experiences throughout CARICOM, throughout our islands. Not seeing a coordinated response. So 12, 13 years ago, we got about 34 psychologists from the master's level up. And my congregation, the Sisters of the Sorrowful Mother, the same group that runs St. Rose School, we put the funding to train these psychologists, including there were people trained from Grenada and throughout the islands. And since that time, we have been operating, responding to trauma. We responded to the murders in Guyana, went up the river when the Americans wouldn't go upstream. You know, so we did our work. So I am saying that to you to reinforce. I think it is time that each local government of the islands, think about doing the same. 12 years ago, there were not many psychologists in many of the islands. I think we had like 3 people in Antigua. We had like 6 people from St. Lucia. Grenada had like about 4. Now there are many more. Just don't wait for a traumatic experience to happen. Keep them as a group. Continue to form and train, because you just don't train once and stop. Mm-hmm. The longevity, I think, of our group is because we offer training to them very regularly. Mm-hmm. And I think that has to happen. And the other part of that is what I was trying to suggest. If we really do this in coordination with Mr. Hector and his ministry, we're very generous. We really could give you the material, do the material, have the material. You can use it, and always have it. So you build in an archive, you build in a bank that you have material that you can pull out when you want. Because I'm very conscious that we don't have all of these resources just running around. You know?
Right.
And we have to maximize what we have. We have to use the wisdom to maximize what we have, and to do the best, to give the best of what we have.
And if I may just chip in here, one of the reasons why a working group like that is of such critical importance is that a group like that will be able to deal with not just the aftermath of natural disasters and so forth, but there are some other inborn disasters that are showing the ugly heads in Grenada. For example, the upsurge in gun violence. We'll have cases where people will be traumatized because they've lost a loved one through gun violence or whatever violence. Gender-based violence is also always showing its ugly head. So this working group can and will be able to deal with all these, not just post-disaster, but pre-disaster as well.
If I may chime in, it's important to note that when COVID-19 reached our shores, a technical working group was established. A technical working group that spanned a couple government ministries and also included organizations from civil society. And we have recognized the need to reframe that technical working group. Now, this is still in the making. So I don't want to, talk as if it is already operational. I'll be careful with that. But we have identified the need to reframe the technical working group so that it will not be specific to a particular disaster, but the group will be in place to respond to every disaster that we are exposed to. And that's a very interesting point you just made in terms of the disasters which take place locally. It's God forbid, but there are accidents, there are events that unfortunately impact a number of people simultaneously. And really and truly, we hope that such a group never has to respond to these things. But we will not, for fear, sit by and not create the group. It's better to have such a unit ready to respond rather than being caught off guard. And such a group will also be able to manage the volunteer support that is being offered to the island, because historically we have a situation where a number of volunteers may come in, but they enter, let me use this loosely, from different ports, in the sense that one group may contact X ministry, another group may contact Y ministry, and we do not centralize the support, because we need to know. I always say, if the Ministry of Social Development is doing something, the Ministry of Health should not say, this is what they are doing. It must always be what we are doing. And so we have to manage the support that is offered from a central location.
Okay, now we're running out of time, so I'd like us to just zero in and refocus back on what and how soon will we have this training coming together of like-minded individuals towards that situation that we are currently facing with our brothers and sisters to the north of the island and Carriacou and Petite Martinique?
So I could safely say that the Ministry of Education is embarking on looking out, supporting teachers who have been impacted, and have reached out to connect our sisters from the Franciscan Institute to the Ministry of Education, and that was done successfully, so that in short order, and this will begin by next week. In short order, there will be that involvement from the Franciscan Institute, who, as Dr. Moore said, they are not coming to undo or upset or duplicate anything, but once there is an opportunity to supplement, to provide support, they are willing to do so.
Okay, thank you. All right, in wrapping up, Dr. Moore, any parting words, any parting advice, just let us have it.
Okay, I think I would just like to say to the general public that they need to be very gentle with themselves in the face of the trauma, and to put a lot of emphasis on taking care of themselves. And I know that people are very focused on taking care of those who are in their care, like elderly, children, etc. It starts with self-care. Be very gentle and caring with yourself, because this has been a major, major disaster.
Okay. Sister Julie Peters, parting words.
Well, I would like to echo what Dr. Moore has said, and I will just give a very simple thing. I think in traumatic situations, our breath, our natural breath, is one of our best gifts. So if people could just do a very simple breathing technique, breathing like 4 times through your mouth, breathe out like on the count of 7, breathe in through your nose, and then breathe out through your mouth. It helps calm our nervous system, because in traumatic situations, what happens, we move into emergency. It's like an alarm bell going off, and we need to switch off the alarm bell. We need to bring down the energy that keep us hypervigilant. We need to do that. So if people could just do a very simple breathing exercise, other exercises, meditation, what have you, listening to quiet music to sleep, these are all things that can help. So, but we hope to get on board and help people professionally understand the dynamics of trauma and be able to recognize it so that they can seek the help that they really need.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Hector, your final words?
So I would just like to encourage all the people who have been impacted, whether directly or indirectly, to let them know that people who survive traumatic experiences and ultimately recover from the impact of those experiences tend to be far more resilient than people who have not. And so even though for now you may be going through it, you may be having some symptoms that are being worked on, ultimately you are trending towards being a much stronger, a more resilient version of yourself.
That is so very true. You live it so you can face it again, and you can also aid someone in facing any trauma. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And this is a work in progress. So I am going to be, touching base regularly with Mr. Hector to know what, to get progress reports and so forth. And if the need arises that you need to disseminate further information, of course, the GBN is more than ready and willing and able to join hands with you to the betterment of our people. So once again, from Italy, good morning, bye-bye. And from Trinidad and Tobago, good morning. And to my brother, Josh Hector, good morning. And thank you very much for the information. Have yourselves a wonderful day now.
You too. Right. Thank you very much.
All right, folks, that's it for that aspect of the conversation. We take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with a wrap. It's 6 minutes away from 8 o'clock.
Is that the devil in your eyes? Rock the box, we say, yeah. GBN, we say, arts and culture living, yeah. Rock the box, we say. I'm telling you, rock the box, rock the box, rock the box, we say. I'm telling you, rock the box, rock the box, rock the box, we say. We'll be jamming here on a Thursday. It's a
All right, viewers and listeners, welcome back. And I just want to say thank you for being with us this morning on the conversation. It wasn't an interactive one. We just needed to hear that information from these wonderful folks, Dr. Karen Moe, Sister Julie Peters, and Mr. Josh Hector. And should the good Lord spare our lives, we'll have another conversation tomorrow. That's Friday. And just want to say thank you and be positive today. Reach out to someone in a positive way. If you can't be positive, then don't be anything. Don't be negative. All right, just stand alone. But until then, have yourselves a great day. We've got to join the BBC momentarily. I love you. Bye bye. That's it for the conversation.